All right, so I'm back to see my patient Gabby. It's an hour after I gave the ondansetron. How are you feeling, by the way?
Great, not nauseous anymore.
Oh, perfect. Okay. We actually have some IV fluids for you, and also something to treat your infection.
Okay.
So I'm gonna skip some of these because you already know who I am. Blah blah blah. All right, yeah. So I'm gonna check the MAR, and it looks like we have maintenance fluids, normal saline, 125 milliliters per hour, and then also Zosyn for the infection, and this is to be infused as an IV piggyback over 30 minutes. So we'll go ahead and get those going. I'm going to do some hand hygiene. So I already did the calculation for the maintenance fluids. So we want to establish a drip rate of 42 drips per minute. And really quick, I'll run through the drip rate for the Zosyn. And you guys don't have to calculate these, right? You don't have to show. You do have to show that. Yeah. Wow. I mean, this isn't the med that's in the scale. It's just a random one. I just decided, hey, this is the easy one to do. So. I want to get those, convert the hours to minutes. Then the drop factor of the tubing, which this Alaris pump tubing, it's always 20, but it says it right there on the packaging. Unless you work at Children's, which it's the drop, they use micro tubing, and the drop rate is 60 drips per mil. So let's go ahead and cancel out the units. Okay, and that leaves us with, I believe I rounded up for this. Yeah, multiply the top numbers and bottom numbers, and then divide the bottom into the top. So we'll first hook up the maintenance fluids, and we'll establish this drip rate. And then we'll hang our secondary, our piggyback, and we'll get it going at that rate. So when this finishes, it'll go back to the maintenance fluids. Okay. Set those down there. I already did hand hygiene, so for the sake of the video, I didn't touch all that stuff. I'm just gonna go right back to doing what I was doing here. Put on my gloves. I just don't want to stain my coat with blue 40. So I'll go ahead and hang this first. Open up my tubing here. A couple things to keep in mind. I like to have control. So don't right out of the gate rip this tubing off, or the packaging. So it's all nice and coiled up. The reason I like that is I have a lot more control over everything, and I'm not worried about the tubing touching the floor, so it's just easier. I want to take this part off first on the IV bag. It's sealed, so it's not going to drip all over the floor. Let's go ahead and rip that off. Don't want to touch that. I want to keep that sterile. Same thing with the spike. As soon as you expose it, put it right in the bag, and you don't want anything touching it. So this is sterile. I want to keep it sterile. When you go and spike in, you want to kind of do it with force, and then also twist until it gets all the way down to that little what would you call that? Like that little hub thing there. So we'll just go ahead and do it with force. Feeling, oh, whoops. That was the other thing. Shoot, I was talking, I was distracted. So that's what you don't want to do is, we were literally talking about this earlier today. You want to clamp this down before you do that so it doesn't rush in, because as you can see, created a bunch of bubbles. So I guess teaching moment, look at that. See, like that's what you shouldn't do. That's what you don't want to do. So I'll go ahead and prime this out. We're gonna have to waste a little bit here, which is fine because it's just maintenance fluids. But if this were your medication, like that could end up being a lot. So be very careful since this has dye in it. Okay, now I'm gonna rip that, bring this over here. And with these, they don't twist off, you just kind of snap them. And then I'll just prime out the bubbles that are in the line. Really quick. Okay, we're good. Oh, just like a little more. Yeah, that's good there. So, so don't do what I just did. Do the opposite. Roll it down, clamp it. So you like roll. So clamp it down or open it up. So that's how the roller clamp works. When it's down, it's clamped. When it's up, it's open. So you want to do that before you spike your bag. Good teaching over there. Okay. Go ahead and hook this up here. Open up the line. And so for the sake of this video, I don't have a clock here, but I'm open up my clock app really quick. Definitely wouldn't do this in the room. It's usually the rooms have clocks. So, okay. I'm gonna slowly start opening this up here, and I'll count the drips. I didn't do the shorthand, but if you divide that by 4, you could do it for 15 seconds, so you can just kind of shorthand it. I think we're just about there. Yeah, that's about good, right? It's not a perfect science. You have to keep an eye on this. Sometimes the drip rate speeds up and slows down over time. I can't say I've ever given a full infusion just to gravity. I've bolus to gravity, but that's also with a pressure bag, and those are different circumstances than just this. So it's not best practice to do this if you don't use a pump in a clinical setting. So now we've established that drip rate, the infusion's running. I come back and check my patient. How's that feeling for you, Gabby?
Fine.
Good. How's the IV feeling? It's not stinging or anything like that?
No.
Is it a little cold for you?
A little cold.
A little cold? Okay. I'll get you a warm blanket after I get out of here. All right, so I'll just go ahead and hang this up. So this is my Zosyn. Go ahead and scan that. Scan my patient. Okay. All right. Okay, I have my secondary tubing here. I'm gonna clamp it down before I spike it. Same thing, just do it really quick. And yeah, 2 pinches, like about a third, half, somewhere in there. I can do one of 2 things. I can prime this out and then hook it up. Have you all seen the other way how to do it? All right.
You have to put the bag lower than the other bag or something?
Basically, so we'll make a little color cocktail here. So I'm only priming this out just to show you the colors. Let's pretend this had a cap on it, because I ran out of alcohol pads. So let's say that was on there. Okay, it's nice and clean, ready to go. Granted, I didn't touch it, but still. Not best practice. That's diagonal. Thank you. Okay, put this up there. Still clamped. Let's see, I want to put, well, yeah, I want to put this one lower. It just has to be lower than the other one. I think the lower the better, especially when you're doing gravity like this. So we'll do that. But if I wanted to, like, let's pretend this line is dry. If I wanted to prime it, I could back prime it from that bag. So I can open this one up. and actually just put this one down below this one. And you can see in the line, the blue is starting to push out the, yeah, you see, because now my drip chamber is completely full. Which you don't want to do because you can't actually see it dripping. Let's see, so I can clamp here real quick. And let's see, actually, yeah, it won't go back the other way, will it? Yeah, it won't. So here's one thing I'll do, just to clear out that chamber. And again, this isn't something you do at bedside. I'm just doing this to show kind of the example. Doing all this here. So anyway, so you want to be able to see. You want to be able to see the drips. So put this all back up here. Yeah, it's going to do it again, so I don't want to do that. Tell you what, I'll just let's see. There we go. All right, we're back. Okay. All right. So there, back to this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open this up. This is going to assume the rate of this line, so this being our feedback. So yeah, as you can see now, because this is higher than that, now this is starting to infuse. Oh yeah, you know what? As gravity would dictate, we actually need to now dial our drip rate in this one to this. But when this converts back to this one, it's going to be at that rate. So you're going to want to watch the clock. This is going to take 30 minutes to infuse. So at that drip rate, so we need to come back and check to make sure that this is empty and that it's infusing from here to then change it back to the old drip rate. So just very quickly here. So about 16 drips in 15 seconds. Slow it down a little bit. It's about there. Right about there. Yeah, that would be 67 drips per minute. So that would be our secondary rate, which is 67 drips per minute. We'll go ahead and let that run. As you can see, it's now primed into the line. The normal saline is almost out. So yeah, it hasn't actually reached Gabby yet, as we can visualize. But for the sake of the video, let's just say it has. Gabby, how you feeling?
Good.
Okay, no burning or
No.
any pain from that? No. Good. All right. So I'll go ahead and leave this, and then I'll come back and check on my patient in a little bit. So let's say time lapsed, and now this is completely done. We'll go ahead, put it back to the other configuration here. And we'll slow that way the heck down. Oh, I see what's happening. It's going into the other bag. Whoops. Yeah. And we'll put this back to the original rate, which was just about there. Okay.